Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome back to incredible Copenhagen! Now to meet the players from England, it's S.Taylor! And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Scotland, our two-time major champion, the Thornton, Robert Thornton!
Well, a dramatic start to the evening session with Mickey Mansell surviving match darts, then missing match darts, and then going out of the tournament to Jelle Claesson. A rare win on the European Tour stage for the Cobra in 2018. Could we see him get back to somewhere near his best? Could we see this man get back to somewhere near his best? Because if we do, and we've got a serious player on our hands. Robert Thornton, a three-time major winner, an all-time great, taking on S.Taylor, a man who made it all the way to a final on the tour a few weeks ago. As you say, you have a good result, and suddenly you get confidence, and you start winning loads of games, and you start getting better and better and better. S.Taylor's managed to win one ranking game since then, after a number of attempts. So it's not really ignited Taylor's career, but he's still a young man. Chris Murphy joins me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box for the Thorn and Taylor.
Game on. Yeah, just one ranking game victory, as you mentioned, Dan. 4 wins in total since, and 2 of them in the qualifier for this tournament. And S.Taylor defeated Adrian Gray, and perhaps more notably Nathan Aspinall, who has been in decent form. However, Robert Thornton, well, the same can't be said of Robert Thornton for the last couple of years, to be honest, since that famous World Grand Prix victory, the latest in his major title collection, when Thornton beat Michael van Gerwen to win the Grand Prix, having already beaten Phil Taylor to win the UK Open. But he's the kind of player who you just cannot write off, and can come from seemingly nowhere and pick up a title. Has one on the European Tour, of course, but I mean, the poor form of Thornton is going to see him miss out on the World Match Play for the first time in 7 years.
Do you think he'll still go? He does actually sort of just like it as a holiday.
Yeah, perhaps he, was so confident that the B&B is already booked on the seafront and the seagulls are expecting their bread.
Of course, we did celebrate Robert Thornton Day at the match play 2 years ago, when the Thorn managed to win a game at the World Match Play, which is something, but he took 7 attempts to do. Just could not make it happen.
Yeah, I think that
40.
Apologies for the slight loss of sound there.
40.
S.Taylor looking to pick the meat out of this 83 finish. Well, they have to go 16 and bullseye.
58.
Because Robert Thornton has left a check out, 160. Loves double top. He can't find the treble, so won't get a go at it.
40. Got to require 25.
Now, is it 1 for double 12? It is.
1.
But it's not there.
Well, Robert Thornton loves double top. And this time he finds a treble. And that's what happens when he does.
Because Robert Thornton loves double top.
Robert to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, just going back to that match play record, the horror run that Thornton had, it's paled into insignificance, hasn't it? Is it Kim Hybrex?
Kim Hybrex is now
7 on the spin, is it?
I think it might be 8. Or maybe 8 this year if he.
Well, that's very presumptive, Dan.
Well, if he fails to get past round 1, as he has failed to do every single time he has been to Blackpool.
Well, he failed to get past round 1 in most major tournaments, if not all major tournaments last year, Hybrex. But
95.
Yes, it's been a tricky one, and yet he's usually goes on a deep run and 1 or 2 of these Euro Tour events a year.
94.
Now, the crowd earlier on were singing, or let's rephrase that.
40.
One man in the crowd was singing, "There's only one Phil Taylor." I can still hear his voice. I'm not sure if he thinks Scott is Phil Taylor.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure when the last time Phil Taylor came to play darts in Denmark is. It may well have been back before the days of the PDC. But even as a younger man, Phil Taylor looks significant. He's about a foot shorter than Scott Taylor for a start.
Now, it is a bit busier tonight, so we probably won't hear the person who responded and politely asked him to be quiet earlier on. Oh, you can do 101 still, Taylor. And that levels it up. 2 ton plus checkouts in the first couple of legs. 1 apiece. And it is 1 apiece.
Yes, I can confirm that Robert Thornton took 7 attempts to get past the first round game at the World Match Play. Kim Hybrex, well, it will be his 7th appearance at Blackpool this year.
95.
So he has a chance, but if he does go out in round 1, then that would beat that rather unwanted record set by the Thorn.
Can we call that beating a record?
Well, it would set a new record.
62.
Yeah, as you said as well, a dramatic start to the evening session. Had a bit of everything today.
59.
The inaugural Danish Darts Open. We almost had a kind of moral 9-darter early on when we saw a dart of Madas Razma bounce out of the treble, the 7th dart, 62. And then he went on to treble 20, treble 15 with his next 2, but of course did miss double 18 anyway. We've seen a few last leg shootouts. The previous match was the 5th of the day. Was it even more than that?
41. Scotty record 147.
Yeah, the 5th of the day.
Well, 147 here. Yes.
111.
Seemed to be a little bit of a frostiness at the end of the last match as well.
Oh, Yellow wasn't mincing his words, was he?
91.
Said, Mickey doesn't do anything quickly, everything's slow, puts me off my game. I know I'd beat him if it wasn't for that. Scott Taylor is beating Robert Thornton right now.
Yep, Taylor, as you mentioned earlier, had that run to the final of PC9. He's tested victory on the Challenge Tour in 2016 as well. Robert Thornton has won more titles than most, including those couple of big ones in the PDC that 60. I mentioned, and of course the World Masters. An absolute legend of the game.
60.
But are we getting to the point where it's starting to look like his best days are behind him?
Well,
in real danger of dropping out the top 32 as well, isn't he?
Well, yeah, when you start missing TV tournaments, that's when it becomes very, very difficult. And look, Robert Thornton has battled back from pneumonia and dropping right down the rankings. But it gets harder and harder with every year that passes. And as you said, you can't rule him out. I mean, he's still capable of putting in a world-class display, but you've got to go back a long while for the last time we saw Robert Thornton
59
in a quarter-final of anything. In fact, it was the World Grand Prix.
2015. He beat MVG in the final. Of course, he was in the Premier League the following year, so just a couple of seasons since Robert Thornton was in the Premier League.
26.
So that's one of the reasons why he hasn't been
111
in 17 or 18. He's had a 101, and now he's got a 111.
Fifth leg, Scott to throw first. Game on.
Robert Thornton struggling. That first leg was all right, but since then it has been poor, I'm afraid.
134.
Thornton playing Taylor from Bolton. It was Taylor he beat in Bolton, wasn't it?
140.
With a much better performance than this.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is the first time that Robert Thornton has managed to fire in a ton 40 in this game, and it's taken him 5 legs. And this is a guy who, at his best, is he's a very, very heavy scorer. His time in the Premier League, he was hitting 180s as regularly as anybody.
Can't fault his finishing though, Dan.
No, I can't. It's going to take some finish to see that off.
Oh yeah, he's going to keep with that percentage, although he might have 6 starts now.
Well, Taylor's already taken out a couple of ton-plus checkouts. He threatened that 147 earlier as well. He does like the double top. He's not going to get a go at it.
100. We require 36.
On bed. You can't find it, and you just feel that Robert Thornton
Scotia requires 60.
was hoping there was a +4 segment on the board there, so if he leave himself double top. Did not look comfortable.
40.
But he looks up for it.
Romeo requires 7. Scotia required 20.
Well, he's unable to kill this off, Scott Taylor, because you get the feeling at the minute Robert Thornton is just there for the taking, and it's not often you see the Thorn in this sort of resigned demeanour. He usually gets angry, but to be honest, just not sure a big performance is there tonight from the Thorn.
As we mentioned, he's been out of form for a while, but look at this. We did see signs, or can take signs from the fact that he's qualified for a run of 4 consecutive European Tour events, which is not an easy thing to do. That started in Gibraltar, here in Hamburg and Hildesheim.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities for Robert Thornton to
91.
put in a vintage display, but this is anything but. I mean, I can't remember ever seeing the Thorn get up on stage and average less than 80, but it looks
60.
very likely that that might be the case.
83.
And even then, certainly didn't say straight, not down to a finish. Won't really matter with Taylor back on 3-4-5, but get back in this leg.
123.
Well, Scott Taylor was going to go on and repeat his exploits from the Players' Championship circuit. It'll be some run because Robert Thornton in round 1, Michael van Gerwen awaits the winner, the #1 seed, returning from a relaxing holiday.
Robbie requires 64.
Double top.
And
that one is going as well as it ever has for Robert Thornton. Problem is, nothing else is.
Yes, which means that his opportunities to have a go at it are limited. But the way it's going, he'd be better off playing on double top than treble 20.
97.
Come away with scores of 100 and 120 each visit.
Can we get a note down there?
81.
Yeah, MVG decided to sit out Wigan last weekend while we were all grafting away in Robin Park and opted for Marbella instead.
Well, he's earned it, but it did open the door for a couple of his main rivals to get titles under their belt and perhaps build up a little bit of confidence in Peter Wright and Rob Cross.
Yeah, he certainly did earn it financially as well as in terms of hard work, and he might replace the money this weekend as well.
Well, he's certainly the man to beat, but as we mentioned, there are a number of players coming back into form. Rob Cross and Peter Wright with their first titles of 2018, or since the World Championship at any rate.
Well, Van Gerwen in his quarter of the draw has got 2 players who have beaten him this year in Ian White and Johnny Clayton. Could meet either of those men in the quarter-final.
And of course, Big John Henderson in the same section of the draw. Hendo, the last man to beat him in a televised major tournament prior to the World Championship, of course, the World Grand Prix.
That is this section of the draw, of course, with the winner of this taking him on. 1-2-1 with a shot that Thornton beat Taylor with to win the UK Open.
103.
Grimace from Scott Taylor. He knew that was a slack dart at double.
You split this when you come back?
64. Going to require 80.
I see the value in splitting, yes.
You don't split it like that, though, yeah?
But that's because I'm so bad.
I
I like to have 2 big segments to be able to aim. The 6 and 10 area.
Yeah. And then you can always claim that that's the one you were going for.
Well, that's what Robert Thornton was going for.
Oh, right back at you, Thorn. Right back at you.
The decibels have certainly been raised a few notches this evening. The Danish darts fans.
Well, they get one of their own to cheer on very shortly. Per Larsen takes on Steve West.
58.
And with the way that these fans have started this evening, I think, well, let's put it this way. I don't think Per Larsen will have to do much to encourage them. Not that he ever does do much on the stage to encourage them.
Took the words right out of my mouth. But it could be a mental test for Steve West, that's for sure.
85.
Now, Thornton looking at 155 with time on his side.
95.
It may even be a help there that he didn't get a dart double at the end of that combination, because he can go back looking at 20 for tops.
28. Robbie, you require 60.
Rather than having left 19 or 38. A little bit tricky. That's why.
40.
And he just has not looked likely on anything else, has he, Robert Thornton? It's been a bizarre scenario. He's going to get another go.
82. Robbie, you require
Finally, Scott Taylor puts a bit of pressure on. Oh, my word, it's in the hole. Trick shots from the Thorn.
Well, he described himself after that World Grand Prix win There's a little terrier with the heart of a lion, because he does not give in. He does not give up fighting, and he does not think this is over.
140.
A bit more bounce in the step, isn't there?
Certainly is.
140.
Yeah, ironically, when Robert Thornton is raging about his own mistakes, that's often when you've got to be more worried about him.
60.
Because that's when he thinks he's in the game, and he's annoyed that he hasn't produced perfection. It's earlier on in this match when he's just seemed resigned and throwing his hands up and almost laughing at his own inadequacies. Then you just felt, oh, this is just going to ebb away from him. There's not a great deal he can do about it. But here he's fighting.
Yeah, he's got the bit between his teeth now. Before every visit, before every throw, it's like, come on.
140.
And after. There may be life in the old dog yet
95
in this match, and indeed in this tournament. 161 now. We'll remember this on the Emerald Isle.
137. 151.
Oh, to slam the door in his face. Can't find the 51 that would have given him a dart at tops for another ton-plus combo
95.
shot. The Thorn to break, to come within a leg. Double six. Oh, what a dart!
The guy's got guts, that's for sure. Robert Thornton now has the darts in his hand to force a last leg shootout.
And his average is creeping up. It's still in the 70s, but only just below that 80 mark, and it's only 4 points behind Scott Taylor's. I know that Taylor found his way to 4-1 and 5-2 up, but it's not as if he was playing scintillating stuff. He had some nice couple of combo checkouts, but it's not been brilliant. And he should have killed this game off earlier, Scott Taylor, when Robert Thornton was there for the taking. With the way he was playing, he could have won this 6-1 or 6-0, but he didn't. And the Thorn, he could yet turn this around.
45.
It's getting to the point already in this leg that Thornton is big favourite to win it and force that decider. And who knows what will happen there, because Thornton, who's in the ascendancy.
96.
Momentum, momentum, Murph.
A big M.
People will tell you momentum doesn't exist in sports. But look at the situation. If Robert Thornton comes from 5-2 down and keeps on winning legs and getting more confident and playing better, and Scott Taylor is panicking and worrying and he's nervous and he's playing worse, he may win the last leg decider, Scott Taylor, but you would think that what has gone before might make it slightly less likely that he does.
Well, there might not be one yet, Dan.
There might not.
60. Well,
Robert Thornton will go for treble 19 here, but I think it's more like to hit by in the single 19, then the treble 20, and then the double top. Did that bit anyway.
He's hitting it even when he doesn't want to, man.
Well, he wants it this time.
57.
To force in 11. And deciding leg for the second match of the evening.
Great marker. Oh, no! It is a shocker from the Thorn. And has he blown his chance?
Well, even if he hasn't, he wasted that last dart completely. Should still have 3 darts at double if he returns, and he will return. And a bit of petulance there could really, really cost Robert Thornton.
35.
Should be coming to the hook here with 3 darts in hand at a double. He's had to waste that one. But it hasn't mattered.
11th final leg.
Take your pick, guys. George Noble is taking us all away. The Thorn or Scott Taylor makes it through to the second round. Can Scott Taylor keep it together and find a way to put a good leg together? Jelle Klaasen put in an incredible last leg, despite missing all those darts for the match against Mickey Mansell, and even then he still nearly blew it.
98.
Well, this Robert Thornton performance has been a one-man roller coaster ride. He's been high, he's been low.
140.
A couple of times he's nearly fallen off.
Oh my word, my word.
Well, Taylor just needs to keep it together, because anything could happen when Robert Thornton returns to the hockey.
Yeah, it could easily be 26, 180. Then 26 again. But Taylor has left to finish after 9. Credit to the man.
25.
And Robert Thornton. Hey, look. Momentum. None going into the final leg for the Thorn.
Well, what on earth has happened? Thornton came firing back, and now the Flames have been fanned out.
Oh, missing big numbers left, right and centre. Here's Scott Taylor. Well, talk about falling over the line. He's not over it yet.
Well, Robert Thornton's doing his best to shove him over it, to be fair now. Well, he's just doing his thumbs here.
He should look at the 19s here. Yep.
122.
He thinks it's too late. And he'd be right. An incredible start to the evening here, back-to-back, 6-5 wins. Jelle Klaasen over Mickey Mansell, and now Scott Taylor against Robert Thornton. It will be Taylor against Van Gerwen tomorrow. That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? But Thornton can't believe what's gone on. Some brilliant moments, but too many bad ones from him. And Scott Taylor wins through to the second round. He'll be back on Saturday, but first of all, he's got the pleasure of talking to our man, Dan Dawson.
Congratulations, Scott. It looked like you were cruising, and then he came back at you, and you had a very, very nervy time in the end.
Yeah, we're a nightmare. I've not been feeling too so good, so I was just trying to get off the stage as quick as possible, and it just didn't work.
What's it feel like, though, to be back on the Euro Tour stage and winning?
Very good. Nice feeling. Not been playing too great, bits and bats, and then all of a sudden it goes in and then it goes away. It's weird.
We had a great run and made the final of a tour event, and then you've barely won a game since, to be honest. So it must be a relief to get a win like this under your belt.
Definitely is. It's hard work on the Pro Tour. There's no bad players, so take everything you can get.
And it's not a bad player you've got next. You're through to the next round. It is the world #1 who awaits. Scott Taylor will play Michael Van Gerwen tomorrow for a place in the third round of the Danish Darts Open.